Alright, so you guys are the JRayPicsers. I'm Jeremyray Retherford. If you guys are here because your name is on the tier list, then welcome, welcome. If you guys are here because you just want to watch my videos, then welcome. If you guys are also here because you are fans of one of these guys that's on my tier list, then welcome, welcome. So, right here, I've got a tier list for you guys. You guys have been wanting it. So yeah, I got like a variety of artists from Little Needle to Ash, and we're gonna start with Ash. So Ash is an underground rapper that I've actually like had. I wanted to do a collab with, but nah. So he belongs in the C list only specifically because of the fact that like, he can improve on flow and clarity. And that's literally the truth. And then the top number one that I've actually done, he doesn't like he goes he did, I thought about putting him in the C list, but then I was like, nah, he goes in the B list because he's not a perfect artist, but he's not he doesn't belong in the C list only specifically because he's a very good rapper. He can definitely improve with flow, and clarity, but overall his flow is pretty good. So just a little bit. And then we got controversy, which he belongs in the C list only because he can improve with flow, clarity, and lyrics. And what I mean by that controversy, I don't mean like that on no harm. Is like you can do better on like your clarity. Your clarity is the most reason why you're in the C list or the C tier. The next guy I have that I basically have is Manexception, and Manexception belongs in the C tier list because of the fact that he can improve with flow. The song I listened was Sides, and it was actually a pretty good, decent song. So yeah. And then the next artist we have Forbid. I don't know if you guys know him, but he's like he goes in the B tier list. The only reason why is because he hasn't had any songs released. The song I listened to him was I think it was like Jealous or something, but where's like Sides or where I don't know. But he actually made a good song. The next guy I have is Lil Peepee, and honestly, guys, this is my honest thoughts on him. All right, so I'm just gonna pause it before we get to my thoughts on Lil Peepee. So Forbid, he is an artist that hasn't actually had his music come out yet, but from the song that I actually heard, he was actually pretty decent artist. All these artists and all these rappers are great artists. No one deserves to be in the D tier because the only reason why I only have one in the D tier, and it's because he hasn't had any music, even though he's specifically an artist and he's in a Spitter group chat. But yeah, Irv and Forbid, the reason why they're in the B tier list is because they have clear, actual good flow lyrics, and most of their songs are like that. There's not any song that I've heard so far, even though I've only heard a couple of songs by Irv, and the one song I've heard by Julian is unreleased. Um, Even though those songs can do better, they don't belong in the C tier, and that's why those artists don't belong in the C tier list. And Manexception, he can do better, but he's not a D tier list material, but he's not A tier or B tier list material, if that makes sense. And then now let's get my thoughts on Lil Peepee. So Lil Peepee's done a lot of stuff to rage a lot of people, but in my opinion, he's a good artist. The only reason why I feel like he should do better and be a better person himself is because of the me issues. And what I mean by that is, before we get to Slick at the Ice, which is a good artist, by the way, but by little people, what I mean by that is the only thing I have a problem with you is you saying that you're your best rapper, your favorite, you are your favorite rapper yourself, which is not wrong to like you for what you were doing in life. Which go ahead, man, be that. If that inspires you to do this shit, then do that. Make that grind, do that shit, do the work. And it's not that you don't belong in your own tier list, in my thoughts, and it's also that you don't belong in the D tier list. You belong, or the F tier list. You belong in the C tier list because of the fact that like your music actually slaps. Your music makes me laugh. The only thing that I would suggest to do is to have the autotune just cut out. All autotune just cut out. It's not. It shows that you aren't creative at all. Like I've only found one artist in all fucking music, not just rap, that can only do autotune, and that's Red Hot Chili Peppers. Blah. It's the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and that group is the only group I've actually heard so far that can actually nail autotune. And Lil Peepee, if you didn't have autotune in it, then your music would be actually 100%. You would be in the B tier list right now if your music didn't have autotune. So that's my honest thoughts. So yeah, now we have Slick at the Ice, which Slick at the Ice, and that's the right way to say it, in my opinion, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Slick at the Ice, he belongs in the B tier list because of the fact that, like, even though his clarity, he can do a lot with the quality, but in my opinion, it's not the quality that you can do better. Because we're all not pro rappers. That's basically what makes us not. That's what makes us having to improve. That's why we're underground. Because if we were all pro, we would be up. And that's the point of us doing the doing the tier list. But what Slick of the Ice has done a lot of collabs with the Coast the Rapper. He's done a lot of songs himself. He's done a lot of freestyles, and I can respect him because he's a real G. He literally can rap on beat. He can literally rap with actual good flow lyrics, and that's what makes him a B tier list. Even though the only thing he can improve on is more of a flow quality and more of a clarity quality. But other than that, he's a great artist. So the next artist we're going to have is Cactus Cordell. And Cactus Cordell goes in the C list only because of the fact that he can improve with flow and quality. The songs I've heard by Cactus, which is obviously songs I've been on, which is like the Spitters and shit, he can do better. So before we get to Chris, obviously this is like a pre-recorded video because I'm recording this one on my phone and I recorded this thing on my camera. But the factor is Cactus Cordell. He's a new artist. He's a new artist of the underground community, and he's actually a good artist. I've done an interview with him. I'm going to be like on his album a couple times. I've done a lot. He's going to be on my new upcoming album, which is an arrangement that we've done. I'm not going to say which track, so just stay tuned for that shit. But yeah, he's a good artist overall, but he can improve. He's not D tier list or F tier list. No, fuck that. He's not F tier list. He can improve with clarity and with lyrics. Other than that, his shit sticks and it slaps. Like, that's literally the only thing I can say. Now, Chris belongs in the C tier list. Like, I've heard his 2 songs, which you should go check out my reaction to them. And he belongs in the C tier list because he can improve on flow and quality. And flow, he can do a lot more better. Now we got Tingle Beats, which is a producer, also was a rapper, and the song that I listened to, which was Big Mac, it was a comedy song. He's in the C tier list, and because of that factor, he can do a lot more better with the flow. He can do a lot more better with his clarity. He's got it. And he can do a lot more better with the lyrics too. That's the only problem I have with him, is he can make more creative lyrics. Then we got Flying 9 Me Dude, which he's the only artist in this whole entire tier list that actually belongs in the D tier list right now to date, because I couldn't find any music by him. And if you have music, dude, like, send it to me. Then I'll update this shit. Maybe next month or some shit. Then we have Lil Nito, and Lil Nito actually surprised me, so this one's gonna surprise you guys too. Lil Nito belongs in the B tier list only because he can improve with his flow. But I listened to Baby, and that was actually a pretty good, decent track. Next we have Maxwell Cook, and Maxwell Cook is a friend of Ghost's, and he belongs in the C tier list only because of the fact that he can improve with flow. If he didn't have a flow problem, then he would be in the B tier list. And quality, if he didn't have his quality problem, then he would be in the A tier list. Now, this other rapper, you might have heard me and him because of the fact that we had beef in the past, but our beef is squashed. That shit's like fucking thrown out, like torn out in garbage or some shit. But this dude, I respect. He has a good flow. I don't know if you guys heard his flow on "Don't Give Him No Fucks," which is a track from my album that I released early. And he has a good, decent flow. So because of that, and also because I've heard multiple different of his other own single tracks. He's like a comedy / like actual type of, like, flow type of rapper. So because of that, like, serious rapper. So he belongs in the C tier list only because of the fact that he can improve on quality and flow and mostly lyrics. Because his lyrics has got it. Next we got Still Bars, which Still Bars actually surprised me with this song, because this song actually sounded, his song Don't Pray For Me, which is kind of like a, kind of reminded me of like of like a DAX type of thing, like a DAX type of vibe. So because of that factor, he belongs in the C tier list. The only thing he can improve on is lyrics and flow. Next, obviously, is me, which a lot of rappers and a lot of artists, they basically praise themselves and give themselves up in the tier list. But me, nah. I know I have improvements, and I belong in the C tier list right now because I can improve with flow, I can improve with lyrics, I can improve with the message and the delivery. I can, well, yeah, I can improve. I'm improving it on everything wrong. So yeah. And then next is a friend of Ash's, which Ash was a friend of mine. And then I was like, okay, what? Because I should have do it, and then the fucking thing messed up. So I was like, okay, I'll just do Kid Broly, which is one of my homies that I've been friends with for like over 4 years now. And his name is Kid Broly. He belongs in the C tier list only because he can improve with flow, quality, and lyrics. Other than that, he's actually pretty good, which it's not that he's a bad rapper, but it's not like he's a great rapper either, because he can improve. But he's actually a pretty decent rapper if he sticks. And then Young Freedom, which belongs in the C tier list only because of the fact that like he can improve with quality and flow. And I heard his song called Keep Running, and it was actually pretty decent. Next, we have Epic Rider, and Epic Rider goes into the B tier list because I heard his song Old School, and the only thing I can say he needs flow improvements with is quality. It's actually a pretty decent song. That's actually one of my favorite songs by him, which is the only song I've listened to, Epic Rider. Next, we have a close collaborator or one of my collaborations I've done with, which is named Kix Breezy, and it was the song called Last Rope, which was on my first album, Living on the Road. And he belongs in the B tier list. He actually sounds like a new fucking Kanye or some shit because his style sounds very fucking decent. And he can improve with flow and clarity, and that's the only thing I had a problem with. But he's actually a pretty decent rapper. Next, we have B, which belongs in the B tier because he has a very good quality. He has a very good flow. The only thing I would say is maybe improve on your lyrics just like a little bit, and then you would be in the A tier with Ghost and which I just said the other thing. So next we have a collaborator that I found. I want to collaborate with it, and he's the only actual artist I think, or the first artist that goes on the A tier list because he sounds like an actual mainstream rapper. Fucking listen to 8 p.m. in Ottawa. That shit bangs. The only thing I think J Swiss can improve on is lyrics. Then we got Ghost the Rapper, which obviously is one of the well-known rappers and the community. He belongs in the A tier list. Honestly, the only thing that Ghost can improve on is honestly flow. That's the only thing I can improve on because he's a decent person. Like his flow sometimes only gives up, but like it's like choppy. His flow's only choppy sometimes, but he's a fucking pretty decent rapper, and that's why him and Cloudy, which is the next rapper, all belong in the A tier list because their fucking shit slaps. Which his is the same thing. His is flow, which I feel like he can improve on in just a little bit of lyrics, but I feel like because of the way Cloudy has already done shit, he belongs in the A tier list. Next, we have Bossa, which obviously his icon is the response because I couldn't find a picture of him, which he belongs in the C tier list only because of the factor that he has the passion, he has the style, he has the flow, but he can improve on flow and clarity. So yeah, and yeah, other than that, that's what I feel about Boss Up. Then we have Young Fazy, which belongs in the A tier list, not only because he is one of the most popular among all of us, but his lyrics, I listened to Tomorrow, and that song was actually a pretty decent song. I feel like that song was like actually almost mainstream. The only thing I would think he can improve on is flow. Next, we have Maze, which is a rapper that Ghost collaborated with. And he goes in the C tier list only because of the factor that I feel like he can basically improve with flow in lyrics. So that's the only thing he can do because I listened to his song Fuck and it was actually a pretty decent song. Next, we have Lil Zoomin. And Lil Zoomin, I listened to your song Mars featuring Ghost the Rapper, and it was actually a pretty decent song. The only thing I think you should improve on is your lyrics. Now, you guys might think Josh is in the F tier or in the D tier or the C tier, but actually, I put him into the B tier because of the factor that Josh is an actually pretty decent rapper. He's kind of like Beyonce. The only thing he can improve on is literally lyrics. He sounds like the next fucking Kendrick, to be honest. But yeah, guys, that's my thoughts. I'm Jeremyray Retherford. You guys are the JRayPicsers. If you guys are here because you are a fan of one of these different rappers, go ahead, put a thumbs up. And you guys are the JRayPicsers. I've only collaborated with, like, I think a couple of these people. I've definitely collaborated with Ghost, Controversy, Lilo PP, Ruff Ruff Meow, Cactus Cordell, Kid Broly, Beyond. There's a couple of people I want to collaborate on here. Kick Sprazy, Slick of the Ice, which is coming soon. But yeah, you guys are the JRayPicsers. I'm Jeremyray Retherford, and I'll see you guys later.